On a foggy morning in 1706, Maria Ursula d'Abreu stood in front of a mirror, examining her features one last time before bidding farewell to her old life. With a sharp razor, she cut her black locks, bound her chest with rough bandages, and donned a military uniform stolen from her brother. Maria was born in Rio de Janeiro, the daughter of a strict Portuguese colonist and a Brazilian woman with a fiery will. From her childhood, she didn't belong to the world of embroidery and quiet prayer. Instead, she ran barefoot between rows of sugarcane, climbed trees, and listened to soldiers' stories. By the time she was 17, she knew that her only dream was to carry a sword, not a spinning wheel, when unrest erupted in the north and forced conscription began for young men. Maria saw her opportunity. She infiltrated the convoy, hidden among the horses, carrying only a false name and a fearless heart. Weeks passed, and Antonio demonstrated rare courage in the face of the rebels. She was faster than the soldiers at shooting, more adept at camouflage, and more ruthless when attacking. No one doubted for a moment that this thin soldier with sharp eyes was in fact a woman. In one battle, Antonio was severely wounded as blood flowed from his shoulder. The truth was revealed, not just a physical wound, but a wound to his identity. The commander-in-chief, a stern man with a bloody history, stared at Maria for a long, silent stare. Any soldier would have been executed for such a forgery, but something in Maria's gaze, perhaps her defiance, or perhaps her sincerity, made him close his eyes and say, "Private Antonio fought with honor. I don't care who's under the armor, as long as the heart knows no betrayal." The years of war passed, and the fronts calmed, but Maria was no longer the same. Her body bore the scars of battle, and her soul was exhausted from living under a mask that was never an easy choice, but rather a necessity. After her secret was exposed, she wasn't publicly celebrated as in the stories. The supreme commander, although impressed by her courage, couldn't ignore the laws of the kingdom. She was dismissed from service, but quietly, without a public trial or scandal. Maria returned to Rio de Janeiro, neither as a heroine nor as a prisoner. She returned as a woman who knew more than she should, carrying in her heart a homeland that didn't fully recognize her. Years later, Maria opened a small inn on the outskirts of the city, frequented by soldiers, merchants, and travelers. She would recount battle stories to her pioneers in a calm voice, not in search of glory, but as if writing her history on the walls of memory. She died in her early 50s silently. No statue was erected for her, nor was a street named after her, but she remained in the stories passed down by grandmothers and in the whispers before bed. There was a woman who defied everything, even herself, to live the way she wanted. And so ends the story of Maria Ursula d'Abreu, not as a fairy tale heroine, but as a real woman who learned that sometimes courage means adopting an identity that doesn't resemble you, just to get closer to your truth.